We're doing it. Back in January, I flew down to Puerto Montt, Chile, to ride the Carretera Austral, Chile's famous Route 7. After building my bike in front of the airport where the taxi drivers hang out and smoke, I was ready to ride the 8 miles into the port city of 280,000, where I would spend 2 nights before embarking on my adventure. Well, here's a couple shots from around Puerto Montt. It's an interesting city. And here we are starting the route. It was only 27 miles to the first of the several ferries that sort of characterized the route, and just a couple miles later, I reached my first campground. Well, here we are, end of the first day of the Carretera Austral, about 33, is that about right? 33 miles plus another maybe 2.5 miles to here, which is camping entre dos ríos y las Ayanas, which is these trees. Get out of here. There's these giant ass flies that have been plaguing me all day. Well, as you can see, we're bikepacking. So far the rig is done pretty good. Let's take a look. We've got these REI panniers with my salsa rack. I had to move them back further than they should be because my big heels were hitting them. Picked that up in the Grand Junction REI, just kind of on a whim. It was on sale or even clearance, so I grabbed it. Trusty Moose Trex frame bag, Revelate. I got 2 of these babies. I learned on the Baja Divide that of those kind of feed bags, when I just had one, you were constantly refilling from your bigger bottles. So if you have 2, then you only have to stop and do that half as much. Yeah, camped here, cost me 7,000 pesos plus 2,000 for the Corona. So I'm pretty happy. Don't want to bore you too much, so we'll let you go, but I'm having a great time so far. 35 miles down, about 715 to go. Gotcha. Okay, peace. So after another day of riding and another night of camping, on the morning of the 3rd day, I arrived in Horno Piren, which is a small town, and where you get on the ferry for the big ferry, which is 3 hours long. And I actually got choked up as I was boarding this boat, as I was wheeling my bike aboard. Just because this trip meant a lot to me, and something about seeing that ferry, just kind of made it real for me, and I realized I was, really doing it. So here we are going down this beautiful fjord. We're doing it riding between the ferry stops. Day 3. We had to wait for another ferry for an hour and a half in the rain. And here we are getting off of that second boat that day. And then we just had to ride a few miles to the Forest Service campground, the Conaf. Went on a hike with Hugo and Elisa. I think this is technically in a national park. And we hiked in to see these trees. These alerce trees They're very old, very big. And as you can see, this is a temperate rainforest, much like you would find in British Columbia, I would think. This is the biggest tree. It's like 3,500 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Another waterfall, and then you'll see in a moment the shelter that we slept in the Konoff campground. Konoff is the equivalent of the Forest Service or the Park Service. I think it stands for Cooperación Nacional Forestal or something like that. All right, well, that's it for this video. The subsequent ones will be with less narration and more of my traditional videos. So I hope you enjoyed that, and stay tuned for a lot more. Goodbye.